All right, well, let's link ourselves back to reality here. Jim, several listeners sent this in a couple weeks ago. ESPN has put together their list of the 30 best pro wrestlers under 30.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
The author of the column is ESPN.
What's if the whole company contributed? It was such a massive project.
The next generation of professional wrestling is already in peak position to be the future faces of sports entertainment.
Oh, good Lord. So already we're adopting a tone of calling it right down the middle, the positives and the negatives.
Last year, ESPN took on the unique task of highlighting the top young stars, across WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and other wrestling promotions worldwide. The result was the inaugural list of the 30 best professional wrestlers under the age of 30. Why under the age of 30? In wrestling, the sports...
Who under the age of 30? Why under the age of... Let me clarify this.
The sport's top stars usually peak in their 30s. Jon Moxley, formerly Dean Ambrose, won his first WWE Intercontinental title at age 30. Charlotte Flair won the first WWE Women's Championship at age 30. Swerve Strickland won his first AEW World Championship just this year at age 33.
But you know what? Charlotte started late to begin with, and the rest of them spent 10, 15 years on fucking outlaw shows before anybody noticed them.
Below is our second edition of the 30 best pro wrestlers under the age of 30. The rankings were based on merit rather than future potential, which is far more subjective. The criteria included drawing power, popularity, skills, position on the roster, and accomplishments.
Well, hold on here, because position on the roster, if you've got Pavarotti and you're fucking booking him to be the, one guy in a 15-man chorus, then that's not Pavarotti's fault, is it? So they shouldn't consider position on the card because that's not up to the talent. And secondly, what was the last criteria?
The criteria: drawing power, popularity, skills, position on the roster, and accomplishments, including championships and tournament victories.
Again! What the fuck? You could have the greatest wrestler in the world and they never fucking put a belt on him or had him win anything. But go ahead.
A dozen different promotions were represented in our voting across multiple countries. Oh, and here's the list of people who provided analysis on the final list. Andreas Hale, Mike Coppinger, David Dennis Jr., Arda Ocal, Brandon...
Okay, I heard of him.
Brandon Caldwell, and Eddie Masonette provided analysis on the final list.
I've heard of Arda Ocal because he has done MMA and or wrestling commentary in a variety of places for some time, right? Or talk shows about same and things like that.
He's done something, and I know he's done something because his name always stands out because it's the only name I've ever seen like that in my life.
Yes. I always think of Alan Alda, but otherwise, who are these fucking people?
Editor's note: along with the writers above, special thanks to Mark Raimondi and Sachin Chandan for their voting participation in this year's list.
Well, Mark Raimondi what connection did he have with the UFC?
Oh, I was thinking he was like the sports media reporter.
Okay, then maybe he's the UFC beat coverer then. The other person I don't know. But nevertheless, okay, top 30 under 30, number one is Braun Breaker, correct?
Number one, age 27, Dominic Mysterio.
Okay, then the whole thing's fucking blown already.
Promotion WWE, last year's ranked number 5. The son of the legendary luchador Rey Mysterio has become the ultimate heat magnet in pro wrestling. From his mullet and cartoon villain mustache to his dastardly relationship with Liv Morgan.
Dastardly?
Which only...
Maybe he didn't say bastardly, maybe? What?
Which only amplified the hate. Mysterio has cemented himself into a full-blown heel in an era where there are too many cool bad guys. He's easy to hate, but has quietly improved his in-ring skills to match his persona. He has become a constant presence on WWE television who never wears out his welcome. Instead, showering him with deafening boos has become the best part of the show for most. Well, there it is. There's the reasoning behind it. What are your thoughts?
Well, and also the pointing out but I guess this is an analysis of people for the layman in the audience and not a professional, on either side, a professional analysis. But, mentioning his cartoon villain mustache, whatever. I love Dominic. He's a heat magnet. He's done a great job. But if they're trying to assess a list of the 30 best pro wrestlers, meaning the ones that right now are tremendous and are going to get better, and they're all under 30, and you don't have Braun Breaker as number one, your whole fucking list is goddamn caca.
Well, number 2 on the list at the age of 28, MJF. Last year's number 1. He's number 2 this year.
And I agreed with it last year, and this year I agree that he ought to be probably highly placed, but behind Dominic, but not behind Braun Breaker.
And they wrote a very, very glowing review of MJF. Number 3 on the list, age 29, right at the limit. Toni Storm. AEW, last year she was 16. Storm is the perfect example of a wrestler reinventing themselves in a post-WWE world. In this postmodern society, I think what she's done is spectacular.
They're writing for marks now, and this is not a serious business analysis.
Number 4, age 28, Rhea Ripley. WWE, last year she was number 2.
Okay, didn't even think about Rhea, but yes, since she's under 30, then she should have obviously been ahead of Toni Storm, as she is in every other fucking category in the world. But you've got Braun, you got Rhea, and you got Dominic. Braun, Rhea, Dominic. I would go with 1, 2, 3, based on anybody that I'm not thinking of. I could buy that, but they're starting to bore me.
Well, number 5 on the list, age 26, Mariah May.
Oh, Christ on a cracker.
Mariah May. It says here, known for her Christ on a cracker move.
Yeah.
She was not rated last year. Number 6 on the list, age 29, right at that limit. Last year's number 8, Konosuke Takeshita. Konosuke, I can't say his name. Konosuke Takeshita.
Well, and I agree that he should be on a list of top 30, but now that he's behind Maria May, it's somewhat of a goddamn embarrassment at this point, isn't it?
Number 7 on the list at the age of 27, Jack Perry. Jack Perry, last year he was number 13.
Did Braun Breaker, was he born out of wedlock when his father was only like 13 years old and is 35 secretly?
Number 8 on the list at the age of 25, Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher from AEW. Last year he was not ranked, but last year ranked number 29, was number 9 on this list. At the age of 26, Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia, the new $1 million man for AEW. Jim, number
there are really 3 legitimate superstar level talents that are right now superstar level talents, and one that can be on this list so far. Dominic, MJF, and Ripley are there, and our boy Take can be. Otherwise, they're just jacking off the fans that buy the magazine now, or the website. On the website or whatever.
Number 10, and this is a real big story. Last year, number 30 on the list. At the age of 27, it's Shota Umino from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Shota is Shota? Who the fuck? Have we seen him on AEW?
The fans in New Japan. What is this picture? They got a picture of him holding up like a vibrator or something.
Oh, no.
I don't know too much about him. Number 11 on the list, age 27, Braun Breaker.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Braun.
Last year, number 6.
What do they have to say about Mr. Breaker?
Breaker is both Steiner brothers in one. He has the explosiveness of his father, Rick, and the charisma of his uncle, Scott. He's one of those professional wrestlers who looks like he should be on SportsCenter for his real-life speed and athleticism. His rise in NXT was meteoric, but Breaker showed his main event potential in his feud with Sami Zayn in a best 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental Championship, which he won in August on Raw. Braun jumps off the screen and should be main eventing WrestleManias in the next few years. I don't disagree with any of that.
But yet he's 6 spots below Maria May.
And, of course, right behind him, number 12, as you would probably guess, Jim, age 28, Kaito Kiyomiya.
Oh, come on.
From Noah and NJPW. He was 21 last year, so he's really climbing high. Number 13 on the list, age 27, El Hijo del Vikingo. He was number 4 last year, so he's really starting to slip, just like when he runs across the top row. Number 14 on the list, Jim, age 29, not rated last year, Chris Statlander. I didn't realize she was still in her 20s. That's interesting.
Well, and, again, somebody with a lot of potential if she could get out of her current environment, but apparently not as much as Coyote. Come here and see you.
Number 15 on the list. Last year, he was number 3. Age 27, Austin Theory.
Boy, remember when he was fucking great? It seems so long ago now. He's the one casualty of Vince McMahon leaving that didn't come out better on the other side.
There's a story somewhere we'll find out at some point. Number 16, age 28, Jordan Grace from TNA and WWE. Followed by at 25 years of age, number 17, Hook.
Hook, everybody.
Hook, everyone. He was not ranked last year. Number 18, age 25, Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton of SmackDown last year, not ranked. Followed by, of course, at the age of 23, number 19, Mascara Dorada 2.0.
What?
The son of luchador legend Hefesto, and not Mascara Dorada, which could be confusing. Because he's Mascara Dorada 2.0. Well, we'll see what else we can find out about him. Number 20, at the age of 23, Roxanne Perez from NXT. Not ranked last year. Number 21, 28 years of age. So for everyone who says he'll fill out as he gets older, 28 years of age, Wheeler Yuta.
Oh, good Lord.
Wheeler Yuta.
He's almost 30?
Almost 30.
That boy needs to drink some milkshakes.
Number 22, last year, number 10, at the age of 29, Logan Paul. Number 23, Yuma Aoyagi from All Japan Pro Wrestling, not ranked last year. Followed by number 24, at the age of 27, Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Followed by Utami Hayashishita. 26 years of age. That's a tough one. I've never read that name before. From Marigold. Marigold. Not to be confused with Gleet or Marvelous. Or any of the other. What has happened to Japanese wrestling?
This guy could be going back and forth amongst all of them.
At 26, 23 years of age, Julia Hart. AEW. 27, 29.
Wait a minute. She shot herself. She shot an arrow in the air and then it stuck her in the hair. And then she did some other stuff and then we hadn't seen anything in a while. What happened with that?
Well, she was just doing vignettes where she was interrupting number 27 on the list, Jamie Hayter, at the age of 29. And then number 28, we're almost here at the end, Number 28 from Dragon Gate. At the age of 28, it's Shun Skywalker. Shun Skywalker.
Luke's Japanese cousin.
Followed by, at the age of 29, number 29, Dragon Lee. And finally, as you all probably guessed, number 30, Yuma Enzai. From All Japan Pro Wrestling, number 30 at the age of 25. The top 30 under 30. Jim, do you have a lot of faith in the future of wrestling?
This is looking pretty fucking dim. Look, on this list, Braun Breaker. I'm going to list people that could be, have the potential to be, and or possibly, or probably will be major stars in the wrestling business. Braun Breaker. Still got faith in Austin Theory. One of these days. Logan Paul's already there. Poor Statlander needs help. You got Dom Mysterio's already there. You got MJF. You got Rhea Ripley is already there. And I've mentioned Braun. And holy shit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 people on a list of 30 that are actually going to be legitimate stars in the wrestling business.
And when they say AEW needs to develop stars, and they do, the people that they have on this list that really represent them, MJF, who is a star already. He doesn't need to be established. He got there early. That's the difference between him and a lot of people on the list. But Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia, come on, against Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley and Braun Breaker. AEW is developing the wrong people, but then again, who would develop them? That's the other thing. They're developing the wrong people, but if they had the right people, they'd be wasting them. So it's not like there's a real loss anywhere.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get. It's like, I don't know how many times you can say this, that it's not contradictory by any of the objective evidence, whether it be gates or ratings or crowd response or YouTube views or whatever metric you're trying. The hottest that anybody is when they come into AEW is when they come into AEW. Right or wrong?
Always, yeah.
Because people like the idea of them and they want to see more of them. And they appreciate some talent of theirs, and then, so it's not just the talent, it's the presentation. But was anybody clamoring the first time they saw Wheeler Yuta on television to see more Wheeler Yuta?
I remember the first time we saw him. It was that Ring of Honor tournament during the pandemic. The Pure Championship, maybe? Or it was all like, guys who could grapple nicely in front of no fans.
Right.
And we said, oh, he's all right. He's really, really, really skinny. And he looks almost exactly the same today as he did then. He just has facial hair now.
But that's the point with these the new talent. It's not only whether or not they have talent and potential, but whether they're used properly. And Mark's made up this list, and it shows because 2/3 of the list are not anybody otherwise than people that might go on the card somewhere. And that's the problem. We need 30 fucking potential superstars over the next 5 years, not 7 potential or present superstars and a bunch of fucking indie darlings. And the wrestlers need to step up because they would mostly rather be indie darlings than be professional fucking wrestlers. You can tell because there's so many indie darlings and or ones that work like it, and there's so few legitimate professional wrestlers.